You think marijuana will open your mind, expand your consciousness, and lead you to spiritual awakening. Let me tell you the truth. This belief is one of the most seductive illusions of modern spirituality. Many people want to believe that a plant, a simple act of inhalation, can unlock the mysteries of the universe for them. But the reality is far more challenging, far more raw, and far more honest. True spiritual growth is not something you can smoke, drink, or ingest. It is something you must cultivate through conscious effort, relentless discipline, and deep self-awareness. When people rely on marijuana as a tool for spiritual exploration, what they're often seeking is a shortcut, a way to bypass the difficult inner work required to transform themselves. But there are no shortcuts. The universe does not reward laziness. It rewards sincerity, discipline, and authenticity. Let's get something straight. Marijuana alters your perception temporarily. It can make your mind feel spacious, your thoughts slow down, your senses become more acute. Some people describe moments of insight, sudden clarity, even what feels like connection to something greater. But here's the critical truth. They are just states, not traits. They come and they go. They don't make you more evolved, more compassionate, more aware in the long term. They are transient. True spirituality is not about chasing states. It's about cultivating traits. It's about becoming someone who can live with presence, compassion, strength, and clarity at all times, regardless of external conditions. If you need a substance to feel calm, to feel connected, to feel at peace, then you are not truly free. You are dependent. And dependency is the opposite of spiritual freedom. Shi Heng Yi, a renowned Shaolin master, makes this point very clear. Real spiritual awakening requires mastery over your mind and body. The Shaolin path is one of discipline, resilience, and balance. It is about training the mind to be steady and clear in all circumstances, not only when under the influence of a substance. When you rely on something external to shift your consciousness, you are giving away your power. You are outsourcing your strength. That is not the way of the warrior, nor the way of the sage. Consider this. When you meditate without substances, when you breathe deeply and sit with your own thoughts and emotions raw and unfiltered, you begin to develop true strength. You learn how to navigate discomfort, how to stay present in the face of fear, anxiety, boredom, and pain. These experiences are not obstacles, they are your teachers. But when you use marijuana, you numb these lessons. You sidestep them. You say, I don't want to face my raw experience. I want to soften it, to distort it, to make it more comfortable. But spiritual growth is not comfortable. It's not supposed to be. Growth means expanding beyond your limits. It means shedding layers of false identity, confronting your shadows, and accepting the parts of yourself that you've spent years avoiding. None of this can happen if you're sedated or numbed by substances. Some argue that marijuana helps them be more creative, more introspective, more open to new ideas. But let's be honest, creativity, introspection, and openness are already within you. You don't need a chemical to access them. What you need is courage. The courage to sit in silence with your own mind and listen deeply. The courage to confront the uncomfortable thoughts and feelings that arise. The courage to stay awake when everything inside you wants to fall asleep. Moreover, marijuana carries consequences that are often overlooked. Regular use can diminish motivation, impair memory, increase anxiety in the long term, and create a habitual reliance that stunts emotional resilience. You may feel relaxed in the moment, but over time, you may also feel increasingly disconnected from your body, from your goals, from your deeper sense of purpose. The same plant that offers temporary relief can also quietly steal your vitality, your focus, and your inner fire. Shi Heng Yi teaches that the cultivation of life energy, or qi, requires discipline and presence. The Shaolin monks train their bodies and minds daily, not because they seek to impress others or achieve some status, but because they understand that mastery is a daily practice. They know that real strength is built one moment at a time through sweat, struggle, and unwavering commitment. There are no shortcuts in this process. No plant can do this work for you. When you walk the path of spiritual discipline, you begin to see that every moment is an opportunity for growth. Waking up early, moving your body, meditating in stillness, serving others with compassion. These are the true practices that cultivate wisdom and inner peace. And none of them require intoxication. In fact, intoxication often becomes the very thing that blocks these practices from taking root. The world is full of people seeking to escape their pain. They seek distractions, entertainment, substances, anything to avoid facing the rawness of life. But you must ask yourself, is this who I want to be? Do I want to be someone who escapes or someone who transforms? Do I want to be passive or powerful? The choice is always yours. Marijuana may offer you a momentary sense of expansion, but it cannot offer you true liberation. True liberation is found when you stop running, stop numbing, and start living fully awake. When you realize that everything you've been seeking through substances is already within you, waiting to be uncovered through discipline, patience, and love. Take this truth to heart. You don't need anything external to grow spiritually. You don't need a substance to feel connected to the universe. You are already connected. You are already whole. The work is not about adding something new. It's about removing the layers that keep you from seeing what's always been there. So, next time you are tempted to reach for marijuana as a spiritual tool, pause and ask yourself, am I seeking a shortcut? Or am I ready to walk the true path of growth? The answer to that question will define the quality of your life and the depth of your spiritual journey. Let's go deeper. You might think, but isn't marijuana a plant from nature? Didn't ancient cultures use plants to connect with the divine? Yes, it's true. Plants have been used in spiritual ceremonies for thousands of years. But here's what most people don't understand. In those traditional contexts, plant medicines were used sparingly, with extreme reverence, under the guidance of trained shamans or spiritual elders, and within very specific rituals designed for healing or vision-seeking. It was not recreational, it was not habitual, it was not an escape from life, but a confrontation with the depths of one's soul, guided with intention, preparation, and sacred respect. The modern use of marijuana bears little resemblance to these ancient practices. Today, marijuana is mostly used casually, habitually, and often mindlessly. There is no sacred container, no trained guide, no preparation of the mind, no clear purpose, just consumption for relaxation, entertainment, or to chase vague feelings of being more spiritual. But real spirituality is not a feeling, it is a way of being. It is not about temporary experiences, it's about permanent transformation. Shi Heng Yi would remind you that every action you take either reinforces your strength or your weakness. Every habit either builds your resilience or erodes it. Using substances without conscious purpose or mastery is a form of self-sabotage disguised as self-care. It is one more way the mind seeks to avoid the hard work of growth by chasing quick fixes and fleeting highs. Let's be honest, growth is hard. It is uncomfortable. It forces you to look at the parts of yourself you would rather avoid. The wounds, the fears, the insecurities, the patterns that keep you small and stuck. But these are the very places where your true power lies hidden. Only by facing them directly, sober and awake, can you integrate them and become whole. You must ask yourself, why do I want to alter my consciousness with substances? Is it to escape my pain, to avoid my responsibilities, to feel good without doing the work? If the answer to any of these is yes, then you are not on the path of spiritual growth. You are on the path of avoidance. And avoidance is the single greatest obstacle to transformation. The Shaolin path, as taught by masters like Shi Heng Yi, is the opposite of avoidance. It is about facing everything directly: your body, your mind, your weaknesses, your strengths, and training relentlessly. They do not train because it is easy, they train because it is necessary, because they understand that mastery comes through repetition, through discipline, through embracing discomfort as the crucible that forges character. Now consider the impact of marijuana on your discipline. Does it make you sharper, more focused, more committed to your goals? Or does it make you lethargic, distracted, and passive? You already know the answer. Substances like marijuana can dull your edge. They make it easier to tolerate mediocrity, to settle for less, to postpone the work that your soul is calling you to do. Real spiritual practice is not about feeling good all the time. It's about becoming good, becoming the kind of person who acts with integrity, who speaks with wisdom, who lives with purpose. It is about cultivating virtues, patience, compassion, courage, humility, discipline, presence. None of these are given to you by a plant. They are earned through practice. Shi Heng Yi teaches that the body is the gateway to mastering the mind. This is why physical discipline is so central to Shaolin training. When you train your body through martial arts, through movement, through breathwork, you also train your mind to be strong, adaptable, and present. The body becomes the temple through which you access higher states of consciousness, not through chemicals, but through mastery. Imagine waking up each day with clarity, energy, and purpose, free from the fog of intoxication, fully present to your life. Imagine sitting in meditation, completely sober, and feeling your mind become still like a calm lake, reflecting the truth of who you are with perfect clarity. This is possible, but it requires that you stop relying on external substances to create internal states. Understand this: every time you use a substance to alter your state, you send a message to your subconscious mind. I am not enough. I need something external to feel whole, to feel good, to feel spiritual. This is a lie. You are already enough. You already possess everything you need to grow, to evolve, to awaken. The work is not to add more, but to peel away the illusions that make you believe you are incomplete. Another truth that is often ignored: marijuana, while natural, is still a psychoactive drug. It affects your brain chemistry, your nervous system, your hormonal balance. Over time, habitual use can disrupt your natural rhythms, weaken your stress response, and diminish your capacity for self-regulation. You might feel relaxed in the moment, but in the long term, you may feel more anxious, less motivated, more emotionally unstable. The path of spiritual growth requires that you strengthen your nervous system, sharpen your mind, and stabilize your emotions. How can you do this if your system is constantly being altered by a substance? You can't. The very faculties you need to cultivate, self-awareness, emotional resilience, mental clarity, are dulled by habitual marijuana use. Moreover, marijuana can create an illusion of insight. You might feel as if you're having profound realizations while under its influence, but upon sober reflection, these insights often lose their depth or coherence. This is because they are chemically induced, not the product of genuine inner work. Real insights arise from sustained self-inquiry, from wrestling with difficult questions, from walking through the fires of challenge and emerging wiser on the other side. Ask any master, any genuine spiritual teacher. They will tell you that the path is simple but not easy. Sit with yourself, breathe deeply, observe your thoughts, act with integrity, serve others, and cultivate gratitude. These are the timeless practices that lead to awakening. They require no substances, no shortcuts, only your full, conscious participation in your own life. Shi Heng Yi speaks of the importance of inner alignment, that your thoughts, words, and actions are congruent. When you rely on marijuana to shift your state, there is often a misalignment. You may think one thing, say another, and do something else entirely. You may intend to grow spiritually, but act in ways that undermine that very goal. So I ask you again, are you truly committed to your spiritual growth? Or are you looking for an easy way out? The choice is always yours. The path of discipline is hard, but it leads to strength, wisdom, and true freedom. The path of dependence is easy, but it leads to weakness, confusion, and stagnation. You were not born to be passive, to live in a haze, to numb your potential. You were born to awaken, to evolve, to become fully alive. But to do that, you must walk the path with clear eyes, with steady breath, with unwavering commitment. Remember this. You don't need marijuana to expand your consciousness. Consciousness is already vast beyond measure. What you need is the courage to explore it soberly, bravely, and with full awareness. Let's bring it all together. At the heart of this conversation is a fundamental truth. Your spiritual growth depends on your ability to take full responsibility for your inner state. Not partially, not sometimes, but completely. This is the essence of the warrior's path, as exemplified by Shi Heng Yi and the long lineage of Shaolin masters. Radical ownership of your mind, your body, your energy, your choices. Marijuana, when used unconsciously or habitually, compromises this ownership. It gives part of your power away to a plant, to a chemical, to an external force. And every time you do that, you weaken your ability to self-regulate, to master your own state, to be the sole architect of your inner experience. True freedom is not the ability to feel good whenever you want through external substances. True freedom is the ability to feel deeply, think clearly, act decisively, and live purposefully, without needing anything outside yourself to make that possible. This is why, on the path of martial arts, on the path of spiritual growth, sobriety is considered sacred. It is not a restriction, it is a liberation. By choosing to remain fully conscious, fully awake, fully present at all times, you cultivate the very qualities that make spiritual growth not only possible, but inevitable. Shi Heng Yi teaches that there is no shortcut to mastery. No pill, no plant, no external tool can do the work for you. The work must be done by you, within you, through your own effort, your own discipline, your own courage. And this is the very reason why so many avoid the real work, because it is hard, it is confronting, it requires sacrifice. But listen carefully. Sacrifice is not loss, it is investment. When you sacrifice the temporary comfort of escapism, of intoxication, of distraction, you invest in long-term strength, clarity, and wisdom. You invest in becoming the kind of person who can handle life's challenges with grace, who can sit in stillness without needing to escape, who can walk through the storms of life with unshakable inner peace. This is the reward of the disciplined path, not just fleeting moments of feeling spiritual, but a life lived with integrity, purpose, and power. Now let's address one more illusion. Many people believe that marijuana makes them more creative, more intuitive, more connected to nature or the universe. But here's the truth. These capacities already exist within you. Marijuana may temporarily open certain perceptual doors, but at what cost? Over time, habitual use can blunt your natural creativity, make your intuition dependent on a chemical state, and distort your connection to reality. The Shaolin masters cultivate creativity and intuition through disciplined practice, through movement, meditation, breathwork, and deep self-inquiry. They do not rely on substances to open these capacities. They develop them from within, sustainably, reliably, and healthily. Your intuition becomes sharper when your mind is clear. Your creativity flourishes when your nervous system is balanced and your emotions are stable. Your connection to nature becomes deeper when you meet it with full presence. sober and awake, with all your senses alive and unclouded. Every moment of your life is an opportunity to cultivate these qualities naturally through your own effort and presence. Why outsource this to a substance that, over time, may erode the very faculties you seek to enhance? Let me be even more direct. Relying on marijuana for spiritual growth is like relying on crutches when your legs are perfectly capable of walking. The crutches may give you temporary support, but they also prevent your muscles from growing strong. Eventually, you become dependent on them and forget that you could walk freely on your own. The spiritual path asks you to walk, sometimes to run, sometimes to climb mountains. You need strong legs, a strong mind, a strong heart. You cannot build these through dependency. You build them through self-mastery. This is why Shi Heng Yi and many other serious spiritual teachers advocate for sobriety, not as a moralistic rule, but as a practical necessity for genuine growth. They understand that your energy is precious, that your attention is limited, that your willpower must be guarded fiercely if you want to transform. Let's talk about energy for a moment. Every time you use marijuana, it alters your energy, your vibrational frequency, your physiological coherence, your mental focus. Over time, habitual use can scatter your energy, making it harder to sustain the focus required for meditation, for training, for self-reflection. Spiritual growth requires energy concentration, not dispersion. The Shaolin monks know this deeply. It's why their practices are designed to gather, refine, and channel energy purposefully. They do not leak their energy through unexamined habits. They cultivate it, protect it, and direct it toward mastery. You must ask yourself, where is your energy going? Is it being invested in your growth, your healing, your purpose? Or is it being dissipated through mindless habits, through substance use, through distractions that offer temporary relief but no lasting transformation? The most powerful people on this planet, spiritually, mentally, physically, are those who have learned to master their energy. They do not let substances control their states. They command their states through breath, through intention, through disciplined practice. This is the path that Shi Heng Yi points to, the path of mastery, the path of self-sovereignty, the path of inner freedom. And here's the final truth. No one can walk this path for you, not your teacher, not your friends, not even the greatest masters. The choice is yours every single day, to wake up and face life with clear eyes and a courageous heart, or to retreat into temporary escapes that leave you weaker over time. You are far more powerful than you think. Your mind is capable of extraordinary clarity. Your body can become a vehicle for strength and grace. Your spirit can awaken to its highest potential, but only if you are willing to let go of the habits that keep you small. So I invite you now, no, I challenge you, choose presence over escapism. Choose discipline over dependency. Choose growth over comfort. Choose the hard, beautiful, transformative path of sobriety, of mastery, of becoming fully alive. This is the path that leads not just to spiritual experiences, but to spiritual embodiment, to becoming a living expression of the virtues you seek: wisdom, compassion, courage, peace. The path is clear, the path is simple, the path is hard. But the reward is everything you truly desire: freedom, power, purpose, and the unshakable joy of knowing that you are living your highest truth. The decision is yours. If this message resonated with you, comment the word mastery below to affirm your commitment to inner strength. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful content here on Mind's Eye. Your growth starts now.